Good evening, Mr. Bennet. How nice to make your acquaintance once more. This must be a charming family. May we be introduced?
I'm sure my family would be delighted to make your acquaintance. My dear, this is Mr. Bingley.
How delighted I am to meet you, Mr. Bingley. I hope you're comfortably settled in Netherfield.
I like it enormously. Such a pleasant environment, and such pleasant neighbours.
These are my daughters, Lydia, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Jane.
It's a pleasure to meet you all. And now may I introduce my sister, Caroline, and my good friend, Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy. Miss Bennet, may I have the pleasure of the next dance?
Oh, what a charming young man. His friend is quite handsome too, though a little cold fit, I thought.
Yes, he was much the same when I called on him yesterday.
Why couldn't you tell me you met Mr. Bingley yesterday?
Oh yes, I called on him yesterday morning.
And why didn't you tell us?
I wanted to get the measure of Mr. Bingley, with no presence of overly curious females.
And what do you make of him?
Seems a very pleasant young man, and obviously quite worth it.
Oh, what a splendid opportunity.
Come, Darcy, I can't see you stand there alone all night. I simply must see you dance.
You know how I detest dancing, unless it is with someone whom I am properly acquainted. Besides, you are dancing with the only handsome woman in this room.
She is the most beautiful creature, I grant you. But look, there is one of her sisters sitting just behind us. Don't you think she is handsome also?
She is tolerable, I suppose, but not to my taste. Tell me, why does she sit alone, slighted by other men? It suggests a fault of temperament, perhaps, or a dull mind. Your sister is free. I shall dance with her instead.
Isn't this a pleasant way to spend an evening?
Taking it from every point of view.
What is your view?
I would say that nothing could be more delightful than being here with you.
It's very flattering that you should say so.
I only say what's true. You are without a doubt the most enchanting creature. None can compare with you. I do not lie when I say I have never talked like this with anyone before. Such feelings happen for the first time ever when you walk through the door.
I must admit that I would be delighted if what you say is true. This has turned out to be a most delightful evening, just being here with you.
She must show her feelings more. She must help him to declare his love.
She does as much as her nature will allow. It's not in Jane's nature to secure a husband by design.
This gathering needs some livening up. Music, that's what we need.
Yes, indeed. Do you sing for us, Elizabeth?
Oh, Charlotte, you're always wanting me to sing.
Go on.
Very well. Girls beware, ladies do take care. If a man is proud, if he's vain, if allowed, he will look down on all that you do with contempt and disdain. If you're wise, if you're smart, you'll refrain from the start, from affairs of the heart. With a man who is proud, mark my words, you'd be better apart. Keep away from him, don't delay with him. If you stay with him, you'll rue the day. Don't believe in him, crowd and find someone who's modest and nice.
Father, may I? I'm sure it's my turn.
Very well, but not for long, and keep it lively.
I've just sent a new concerto.
I think not, my dear.
It's not very long.
I do not think this is the occasion.
Then I shall sing instead.
Mary, my dear. I do think a lively tune on the pianoforte would be much the best idea.
Certainly, if one enjoys primitive pleasures. They do say that savages are very fond of dancing.
Oh, Elizabeth, I enjoyed your song so much. But why aren't you dancing? Mr. Darcy, allow me to present to you the most desirable of dancing partners.
Would you care to dance, Miss Bennet?
Thank you. No. I assure you, Mr. Brinkley, I did not pass this way in order to secure a dancing partner. I have no wish to dance at this moment, and I'm sure Mr. Darcy doesn't either. Particularly not with someone whom he was overheard to describe as not pretty enough, nor elevated enough to grace his presence on the dance floor.
If I said anything of the kind, then I apologize for my bad manners and lack of perception.
Don't worry, Mr. Darcy, it's of absolutely no consequence to me.
You look somewhat disconcerted. No doubt you're irritated by the company here tonight, by the inspistent entertainment and the noise. Oh, the nothingness and the self-importance of these people. It's all very tiresome. I would love to hear strictures on them.
I was not thinking of them.
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking of the curious impact a lively tongue and a fine pair of eyes can have on a man.
Oh, Mr. Darcy, whatever do you mean?
She is a remarkable lady, Elizabeth Bennet.
Elizabeth Bennet, I'm astonished.
Astonished? Yes. So am I.
Are you of the same opinion?
It is good that your business takes you to London at this juncture. It might help you to see things in a more objective light.
Proposed?
Yes, she's just left to inform her mother.
And has she accepted your proposal?
Well, no, not in so many words, but she would be very foolish not to, would she not?
Yes, of course, but I thought she was expecting...
Mr. Collins, take no heed of what Lizzie says. I assure you she'll be brought to her senses. She can be so headstrong and foolish sometimes.
Headstrong and foolish? That's not very desirable in a wife.
Well, just in matters such as these. Oh, I'll talk to Mr. Bennet. I assure you she'll be brought to her senses.
I am becoming most perturbed by this turn of events. If she is indeed headstrong and foolish...
Mr. Collins, you must not be offended by Lizzie's refusal. I'm sure she would be greatly honoured to receive such a proposal from a fine and distinguished man.
You are too kind, Miss Lucas.
Hear me out, Mr. Collins. I'm sure she would have found your proposal irresistible if it were not that she is expecting a proposal from another man.
Another man? Who?
His name is George Wickham.
I must thank you, Miss Lucas. It's just a wonder no one else took the trouble to tell me about Mr. Wickham.
Well, you see, Elizabeth has not actually admitted it to anyone, but as a close friend of hers, I can see she is quite captivated by Mr. Wickham. I have tried to warn her against him, but she is of a rather independent turn of mind.
Headstrong, foolish, and independent too? It seems I've had a lucky escape.
She shall never speak to you again if you do not accept Mr. Collins's proposal.
Oh, Father.
On the other hand, I shall never speak to you again if you do.
Father?
So you see, you face an unhappy alternative either way.
Oh, Father.
How can you speak to her like that? You promised you'd marry Mr. Collins.
My dear, I have two small favours to ask. First, you allow me my understanding of the situation. And secondly, this room undisturbed. I'm about to settle down with the book.
Oh, Jane, I can't get sense out of anyone. What's the matter? Why do you look so... Who's this letter from?
It's from Caroline Bailey. She says she did not expect her brother to return to Netherfield.
Not returning. Has something happened to him?
She says he's been seeing an awful lot of Georgiana Darcy,
Mr. Darcy's sister.
who, according to Caroline, is without equal for beauty, elegance, or accomplishment.
She says she does not expect it will be long before he is to be engaged to Miss Darcy. I can't believe it. Oh, Jane, go talk to him. Go tell him.
I'm a little tired now. Please excuse me.
This is unbearable. Unbearable. As if losing one prospective husband wasn't enough. No, But you know, at least Jane has the excuse it was none of her doing. But you, how dare you turn down a proposer from Mr. Collins? No, you shall turn around and go and tell him right away.
Well, it seems that all's well that ends well. But Miss Elizabeth, you should have told me about your feelings for Mr. Wickham.
Mr. Wickham?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was supposed to keep it a secret. But surely you realize that Mr. Wickham was planning to propose to Miss Elizabeth.
Why, only today, I heard that Mr. Wickham was engaged to Mary Long, you know, whose father died and left her £50,000.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Elizabeth.
This is all very confusing, but as I said, all's well that ends well. You may as well be the first to hear the good news. Miss Lucas and I are on our way to our father to discuss the prospect of a future together. Yes, Miss Lucas and I are to be married.
And your sisters, I believe you are one of 5. Do your sisters play and sing?
One of them does.
Only one of them? Oh, I should have learned. If I had learned, I should have been a great prodigy. And, so Dan, if I had allowed it, I am confident to perform delightfully. Did you enjoy this game?
No, not at all.
But surely your governess gave you instruction in drawing.
Oh, we have no governess.
No governess? How is that possible with 5 daughters in the house? Oh, your education must have been sadly neglected.
No, really.
Nonsense. It's fundamental to be without a governess must cause distress. It's detrimental for any girl to go without one, I profess. Unless she's planning on a menial vacation, a girl is disciplined to educate her mind. If she's deprived of such an ordered education, she will find that she can never be considered as refined. I'm maintaining every girl requires discipline and training those without it are predestined to a life of sin. Who can doubt it? A girl is free of an inquiring disposition. She must be well informed and knows but she can never quite aspire to this condition without a governess on hand to show the way. It's essential if you wish to make the most of your innate potential. If you wish to be part of decent society, take advice from me.